Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Kelsey Cook.
And I'm Tig Notaro.
Whoa, we're going back to
What are
the
you
comedians.
Sure.
I just was saying I never know what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
That was a boomerang. We brought it back.
Yeah, very funny.
Very, very funny.
Very funny comedian.
And I am coming to you with no stitches in my tongue. Yay.
Yay is right.
Chad's a little flushed.
Yay is right.
Ew, we can't start so gross.
I'm just talking about kissing.
Oh.
What are you talking about, you creepo?
Anyway.
You're talking about something that hasn't happened.
The clip that we put out for this last week's episode is from when we did the highly sensitive person test or quiz or whatever. And watching it back, I'm like, oh my God, you can totally tell my tongue is just like still in the shop. I'm like, do you ever have times? It's like so hard to watch. It's weird.
Well,
but I'm back. I'm back and better than ever. I got a new bottom of my tongue. It's weird.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think of something and then I go, oh my God, that's funny. And then the other part of my brain goes, don't you do it. This is going to be an argument off the air. So then I just keep it.
Chad.
But not
Stephen Daniels.
Not anything that you would get mad at.
Oh, well then
not
why
an
would
argument between you and I.
Oh.
Like an argument with other people, it would get passed along and then other people would hear about it and then they would be mad at me.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like that's usually your MO. Is that at some point on whether it's this podcast or middle of somewhere, you usually, damn it, my tongue was doing so well. You usually say something that could get passed along to a group of people that they're like, well, we don't like that.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
I know.
I mean, just not say anything because someone might get their feelings hurt. That's fucking crazy.
I know.
And it's never with ill intention.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. Like I was just thinking of something on the drive here because I just drove back from the cabin. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about something that I don't know if like what the deal is, but we had a conversation yesterday about how you feel like it's your job to make me feel good about myself at times. And there are times where you go, you know, I'm like, I really give you a bunch of compliments and I give you a bunch of stuff like that. But there comes a moment where you go, and this is what I was thinking, and this is what worries me about what I'm about to say, is there are, right, we've all seen it, whether it's the Special Olympics or it is the high schooler that just went out for track because bullying had gotten too much. And then everyone cheers when they cross the finish line, right? This kid's been bullied and they're out for track to make their life better. Mm-hmm. And everyone's cheering. But then you still go, well, fucking 10 minutes to go around once? That's not very good, right? But everyone's cheering. And so sometimes it feels like your compliments are that. It's like I'm getting effort points. I don't want effort points. I want natural athlete. I want, damn, that was close to a medal. I want that kind of points. I don't want effort points. I don't want, oh, he's trying his hardest. Like no one wants that. No one wants that applause.
I don't give you Special Olympics effort compliments. As soon as you started down the Special Olympics road, I was like, yeah, this checks out that he puts himself in that category, which is just like the foundation.
Also, by the way, the Olympians in the Special Olympics, fucking incredible.
Yes.
And I've always said, if we could live in a world where there were just Special Olympians, and I'm not talking about Paralympics. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Special Olympics.
Yeah.
If I could live in that world, I'd fucking do it. Yeah. It's a lot of smiling and a lot of happiness, a lot of just genuine joy.
Totally.
Not fast. That's my point. And so I bring a lot to the table, but sometimes when you're like, hey, that shirt, and I'm just like, this feels like effort points. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and this is why we have come to the crossroads in our relationship that we're at.
I'll see you at the crossroads.
Where
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I know, I love it. Da 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 bum bum bum. Tell me what you gonna do. No idea what those words are there.
Well, I don't think anyone does.
I don't think anybody does. That's a secret to that song.
Yeah.
We've reached a place where I am asking you to please look into something that can really help with your body dysmorphia that is beyond talk therapy. Because you're watching on YouTube. Oh my God.
I know. I'm going to.
I know.
You know what? And you know what else I've done? You know what else I came up with this last week at the cabin by myself? It's like, it's time. It's time to quit fucking around. And I'm going to go full positivity. I'm going to go full body positivity on myself. I don't know how it's going to go, but I am just going to be, when my son Isaac was younger, he went to the eye doctor and they were like, you need glasses.
Yeah.
And then Isaac was like, I'm not fucking wearing glasses. Or he said, whatever. He might have said that, actually. I think he was like in third grade. He was like, I'm not fucking wearing glasses. But this kid is so stubborn that his eyes healed or something.
Is that medically possible?
We went back to the place and I go, switch the chart up, doc. I don't care if he memorized it, switch it to a rando.
Yeah.
And he did, and he saw all of it. And so he was so stubborn that he was like, I don't want to wear glasses.
Yeah.
And then his eyes got better because that's how much he didn't want to wear glasses. So I think I'm going to go Man Daniels, and I'm just going to go full stubborn on it. I'm going to go, this is what's going to happen. Well,
that's great. Like that alone is a huge step in the right direction.
It does get a little old. Also, I don't want to talk about stuff that's like, woe is me shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I've been doing all these podcasts for the Netflix special available now called Empty Nester.
So good. Please stream it.
It's, people are asking me about my dad stuff and they're like, was it tough? And it's like, it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you look at it now, if you had a friend like that, you'd be like, I mean, I wouldn't trust him to babysit, but it's pretty fucking cool. Steals cars, runs around, got a fucking traveling bar in a van. I mean, that kind of shit's pretty cool.
I know, but that's not your friend. That was your dad.
I understand, but we don't, but
I know we don't need to go down
I am flipping the script on a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, I'm
just sick of it.
Proud of you.
I'm just tired of it.
That's great. That's a great place to be.
Thanks.
I'm tired of feeling like this. I want to take my life back, because we've had a lot of conversations about body dysmorphia where it's so funny. As much as I'm so, I think, like well-versed on self-help, I will sometimes talk to you in a way where, like, when people have anxiety and people go, well, just stop worrying. And people are like, oh, thanks. It fixed it. Great.
You're like, well, I want to see you with your shirt off. And I'm like, no, you don't. And you're like, yeah, I really do. I'm like, well, this isn't how this works.
Right. And that's so frustrating for me and frustrating for you, because I just keep coming at you with the same information of like, I don't understand
it's bullying,
why.
And I'm going to have to join track if you keep it up.
Or I'm like, I don't understand. Why can't you accept my compliments? Why can't you like believe that this is how I feel about you? And you're like, because that's not how I see myself, and nothing you tell me will make me see myself differently.
Sure.
So you've now taken some steps to do some appointments that are like different kinds of therapy.
Yeah.
Because talk therapy is fucking awesome and it can help with so many things, but also it's like, what?
She has me going to, and I feel like that is worded correctly. She has me going to this thing called Somatic Therapy, where they push the bad feelings out of you. It's a massage because your body keeps the score. That's a quote. And all of your trauma is stored in your body, which I feel like it's in my brain. But maybe it's in my body, so I'm going to give it a chance. And say it's right with an election coming up, we hear people on the left saying things. We hear people on the right saying things. It's like, I'm going to do my own research. I'm not just going to shut it down. I'm going to actually try it.
Yeah.
And, but what a weird thing to do. You and I have talked about this because I made a joke about it right away where it's like, hi, I have body dysmorphia. Now push on my tits. Mush my tits together like you're a cat making biscuits. If you could do me a favor, if you could motorboat my tits, if you could get on down here, I don't know what the company policy is on motorboating, but if you could put your lips right in my hairy fucking cleavage and just give it a little, give me a raspberry right on my sternum. Let's get these tits moving and shaking. It's going to be a weird thing because it's like, well, do you feel better? I fucking don't, turns out. It turns out I don't because my whole body was shaking when you motorboated my tits.
I'm rock hard, but I still have these issues.
Yeah. So if that's not on the no list, where does it stop? Get on down to Chinatown, lady.
Have you never really looked into the whole your body keeps the score stuff and how your body stores trauma?
No, I don't have a crystal ball.
Well, I know, but you really like to understand the science behind things.
I do.
Do you think you'd find it interesting to look into some of that?
I'm sure. What I would like to do is go into this. I went to the movie Hurt Locker with my friend David Huntsberger. We were walking down 3rd Street Promenade in Pasadena. Nope, not Pasadena. Santa Monica. And we walked by this theater, and there were...
Just say it. I believe...
Theater.
No.
Theater.
There you go. Yeah, sure.
The theater. It's the same thing. So we walked by this building where they play movies. And Hurt Locker was on there, and I had no clue what it was about.
Okay.
No clue. And I went in and was fucking... David was like, we got to go see this movie. I've seen a lot about it. I hadn't seen one thing. Blown away.
Whoa.
And I think it's because I hadn't seen any of the trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. And that opening scene in that movie is, I'm sorry to date myself, radical.
Wow. I've never seen it. Shock. But.
So it's fucking crazy how many good movies you haven't seen.
I know.
So what I would like to do is go into this somatic therapy without knowing anything. And then that way, if I feel better, I feel better. And if I don't, I don't. But none of my decisions are based on what I think should be happening.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I went into A Quiet Place similarly. I think maybe I'd seen a trailer, but even the trailer was kind of like, it was such an unseen concept before. And so I also thought it was radical.
Yeah.
My world was rocked.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Well, I just I'm so excited for you.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do my best to step away from this.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it probably less or not at all.
Okay.
Because I just don't feel the need to feed that thing.
I think that's great.
I don't need to keep reminding myself of it. And so instead of talking about it, I'm just going to not.
I think that's great because every time you talk about it, it like digs those neural pathways deeper and deeper. And I tell you that on a daily basis of like, don't say that about yourself or like,
right. That is where it's coming from. Bruce Lee, amazing, has a quote about that kind of thing where it's like, your body doesn't know.
Yeah.
Or your brain doesn't know that you're kidding or you're whatever.
Yes.
And so to talk like that, whatever, it's like, our brains were developed before the concept of, a negative sentence where it's like, negative both ways though. So if you say do not, our brains were developed before not.
Yes.
So it only hears do.
Yes.
So like when you're golfing, you go, don't hit it in the trees.
Yeah.
But your brain hears hit it in the trees because it doesn't hear the no. Instead of saying don't hit it in the trees, you should say hit it to the fairway.
100%.
Yeah. It's like when people go, well, you're not wrong. And it's like, yo, bitch, is there something else? Can you say something else instead of that? Am I right? Yeah. Fuck you.
Totally. Yeah. Same with like anxiety and depression. You don't want to say, I don't want to feel anxious. You just say, I want to feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think the more you talk about being anxious and the more you talk about having OCD and the more you talk about this, I can't speak for everybody. For me, it is just a daily reminder of these hills I'm supposed to climb.
Yeah.
And I don't have any of that shit, I don't think, but we will see.
Yeah.
So I think from, and this is going to suck. A lot of people, I think, especially on the other podcast, kind of dig my negativity because it, you know, it's like, well, at least we're not him. So that could be. And so I hope that those people are still happy with I'm not going to be fucking floop-de-doo happy.
You're never going to get rid of
my bad attitude.
your sense of humor. You're still always going to be.
Bad attitude.
So you have had a famously bad attitude.
I do have a famously bad attitude, yeah.
But I'm so excited. I read something online where they did a study for people who have body dysmorphia that did EMDR. And after I think it was like 2 sessions, 8 out of the 10 people, it had like completely been resolved.
EMDR is eye movement
desensitization something
recovery.
Fuck, it's gonna bother me.
I don't know
eye
what
movement. Yeah, but anyway, it's that your body can process trauma in right to left, and so you're moving your eyes right to left as you're talking through a traumatic experience, and it's supposed to help your body release that trauma.
Now, do we think that since your eyes are moving left to right, you're being hypnotized, and then you feel great about your body, but anytime someone says taco, you start clucking? Because that's what I think of when you're doing like back and forth.
Yeah, like a pendulum.
Watch the
you're getting
floating.
sleepy.
When I snap my finger, you will not be fat anymore. But before I do, I'm going to motorboat your tits.
Oh my God. Suck these tits, you bitch.
Suck these tits, you bitch. Listen, should I tell the story? Yeah. I think I should. I have to, because I was watching a German pornographic short on my computer.
A YouTube short.
I was told that if I logged into another website, I could watch the full-length feature. Chose not to, didn't need to. Here's why. Because I had everything locked and loaded, ready to go, right? I got the stuff here, whatever it's called, hand lotion. I've got some depository situation going on. And just about ready to go, and these 2 gals were kissing each other and being real quiet, and then one of them said, "Suck this tits, you bitch," and I could not stop laughing long enough to touch my own pee-pie. So,
oh my God!
and then all I did was call people and say that into the phone and hang up on them. I called so many of my friends and they're like, "What's up, dude? Suck this tits, you bitch." And then just silence. And they're like, "Hey, does someone have your phone?" I'm like, "Nope."
Oh,
got it right here.
God. How hard do you think you would come if I said that in bed? Just like that.
Negative. I would suck. I'd go, and you're like, "What's up?" And like, it reversed its way into my mouth. I'm choking on it. Because I hated it so much that my body kegled it right up into my own throat. I don't like that.
Pineapple. I'm kidding. Have you ever tried to do that as a guy? Have you fallen for that, like, if you eat a bunch of pineapple, it makes your cum taste different? Actually, I don't want to say you've fallen for it. Maybe that's scientifically true, but...
I've heard that.
Wasn't it that, like, you would have to eat an unimaginable quantity of pineapple?
I drank a lot of Mountain Dew when I was younger.
Ugh.
Like a lot of Mountain Dew.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That could not have been pleasant.
Yeah. Had a girlfriend. Drank a lot of Mountain Dew. She did the thing. Next time she came over, she's on a mountain bike. Can I tell you something? None of that's true. Okay.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
I'm so dumb. This positivity. Look it, guys. It's going to be great. Trust me.
Thank God. I've just been waiting. I've just been patiently waiting for 2 years.
Have you ever spent 2 years with somebody and then you finally find out they're actually thinking the entire 2 years, I love you so much. Oh my God, this is great. You're my dream person. Then you make a revelation. They're like, finally, you fucking pain in the dick. I can't believe it took this long. It's like, well, what do you, I mean.
I knew you had it in you.
Whatever.
Should we talk about that we finished the Netflix series Receiver?
Sure.
So I watched Quarterback. Chad did not. As many of you know, not a big Kay Cousins fan. And
did you say K because you don't know if it's Kirk or Kurt? No,
I just thought it would be funny.
Okay.
I just thought I'd mix it up a little bit.
Okay, that's fair.
Just trying to be spicy and fun.
Kay Cousins. Yeah.
Kay Cousins. It just took me a second to figure out how to say all of that together.
Okay.
For some reason.
It took you a while to figure out how to say the first initial of his first name and his last name?
It shouldn't be so hard, but for some reason my brain just
actually easier than saying his full name. Okay.
Leave me alone. Anyway, I thought it was very, very good. And then we watched Receiver together because it didn't have Kirk C.
Actually, it did. Because guess what? Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings is a wide receiver on the show Receiver. Mm-hmm. And then they needed dipshit McGee to come on and be like, well, yeah, he is a great receiver. He's actually makes me look good. I throw the ball fucking 15 yards out of range, and he somehow goes over there and catches it. It's incredible.
Do you remember like 2 minutes ago when you said you're going to be a more positive person?
I am more positive. He's such a shitty quarterback. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to be positive. Okay. Ugh.
Anyway, we watched Receiver, and it's so good. I think even if you're not a huge football fan, it's just so exciting and interesting.
You know why it's exciting and interesting? I'm going to like to tell them some stuff. Okay. It's because a lot of guys, professional athletes, have their shirts off.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
But it is. I mean,
the really Olympics is over.
It's like
you didn't get your window long enough.
It's all these guys are in, right? It's like, Nick Bosa, I think his name is, comes and sits down next to a clothed receiver, but his shirt's off, and all of a sudden her leg starts twitching like somebody's scratching her stomach. It's fucking crazy. And so, of course, you like it. But here's the thing. Then you have these receivers on there, and they're yelling fuck when they miss the ball, and they're doing all this stuff. And then I hit the ball, Pickle Ball. I hit the ball in the net 3 times in a row. One of them was we would need a geometry teacher to show me how it did not go over. Because I felt like I was right by the net. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I hit it overhand. That means the angle in which it could have hit that little tiny window in which it could have hit the net, mm-hmm. I did that. Mm-hmm. So I was frustrated. Yeah. And then after 3 of them, I picked the ball up, and then I walked to the net and hit the ball into the ground very hard. And I go, oh, it does go over the net. And then all of a sudden, old Curly Q over here gives me these eyes like, oh my God, is there going to be an incident? Why are you acting like a child? That's what I hear. She didn't say that. That's what I hear from the look. And I just go, well, if I was a fucking receiver, it would be fine. But here we are playing pickleball instead of professional football.
Exactly. Those people are playing A, football. That's just a sport where there's a lot of yelling, period. B, that is their job. They're in the NFL playing a game that is what they make their living at. It's how they support their family.
You don't know that I'm not going to how am I ever going to achieve professional pickleball status if you don't let me get intense on the court?
You can't be like, they yell in receiver and you don't have a problem with it, and then I yell on the pickleball court on a Tuesday morning with a bunch of old people around, and how is that not the same? And it's like, it's not the same.
But I just yelled, oh, it does go over the net. I mean, I didn't swear. I wasn't like, I'm going to fuck all 17 holes in this pickleball ball. I mean,
I know it was such an intense, like, you hit it so hard though. And
I'm
all
strong.
That. It's just like,
I'm strong. I have great Great hand-eye coordination. Hit it right in the middle of the paddle. What do you think was going to happen?
If we discussed it off the show, and obviously we're fine discussing it here.
Yeah.
But I just was like, I don't like seeing you like that, because to me it comes off like you can't control your emotions, and I just feel like you are old enough to, even if you don't like that you're making a mistake, not have to do something like that.
Sure. Well, I like not having heart attacks. And so instead of keeping all of that frustration inside of me, I walked to the net, slammed it over the net, making sure that it does indeed go over the net. So I can take a deep breath and I can get back into it, and you know it.
But you know it goes over the net without having to slam it over the net.
I actually wasn't sure because I hit it into the net 3 times in a row.
So ridiculous.
So I actually was not sure.
I'm curious if this somatic therapy work will just like help take that pressure that you put on yourself to be good at everything, to be like the best at everything, and just turn it down a little bit, where it's like, you can be excellent at pickleball, which you are, and make mistakes, and it's all fine.
I don't want to make mistakes. I don't like feeling like a loser. I felt like a loser when my dad left. What? Look what you did. I'm just kidding.
If I could have ever met your dad,
that was the long con.
I would have had some choice words.
Oh, no. I'm intense. When I'm competing, I like to compete. I don't care if it's a fucking knitting contest or chess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess chess is different because I wouldn't slam all the pieces off the...
See, when you're like, to you, you're like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But to me, like, hitting it like that in pickleball is one of those things where it's like, yeah, don't do that. Like, you don't need to do that. And when you're like, well, how am I supposed to express this frustration? That's what, like, I wish that you just didn't get to that level, that you could have those mistakes. And again, I'm not like, you should be like, yeah, I'm loving making mistakes, but it just isn't this like, bah.
Having that intensity and being that person
makes you a passionate lover
that shows off their intensity. It does make me who I am, which partly is a passionate lover. Yuck. Should we go?
Yeah, let's.
Do we have a middle?
Yeah, we have a quick middle segment. So
I haven't been told about this, so I'm excited to hear it.
We've actually already talked about it though, but it's not on the show.
Just kidding. I know what it is.
But you don't know yet. Yeah. So I believe it's Bree who wrote this in as a suggestion. And this is a great thing because we don't say that often on the show, but when you write into pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com, we love when you write in and like ask questions about your relationship, if there are things that you think we can help with. But also if you have suggestions for the middle segment, we're always looking for that. So they suggested that we answer the question, would you rather lose your sight or your hearing? And why?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for hearing.
Okay.
For me, without question.
Yeah. You answered that so quickly when I asked you just randomly, whenever that was, a couple weeks ago. And I was like, wow, you really didn't have to think about that.
Not a lot scares me. I mean, only because I'm not saying like I'm a tough guy. Nothing scares me. That's not what I mean. But not being able to see where I'm going all the time, really, really brings me down a hole.
Yeah.
So, I would hate to not be able to hear music anymore.
Yeah.
I would like to think. So after you said that, I put my phone on with music and then put noise canceling headphones on. And I just had my phone on just a little bit. And then I held my hand on it and you could still kind of feel the beat to it.
Oh, interesting.
Because I thought to myself, I was like, well, at least I'd be able to feel that. You go to
you did all that?
Yeah. You can go to a concert and you can feel the music like in your body.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I need to see too much. I think a lot of my, my mood is based on blue sky energy and colors and being able to see. I don't know. I think that I could not hear music easier than not seeing beauty.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's a horrible thing to envision either way. Like, there is no clear-cut 100% answer for me, but I would agree. I initially thought I would rather lose my sight because I love music so much and love stand-up comedy, it's like so many things would be gone that bring me so much joy.
Yeah. Initially, when you said, I think I'd like to lose my sight, that way I don't have to see you with your shirt off. Okay. Strike one.
You lasted about 10 minutes.
Oh, it was just a joke. I was just trying to be funny. Swing and a miss.
It is. I'm just saying, this is the stuff. Are you going to keep doing the jokes like that, you think, when you're trying to be positive?
No, probably not.
Okay.
But now they're becoming callbacks for this thing. That's why I said the dad part.
And it is very funny, but I just...
Yeah, it must be very funny. I hope when I do a stand-up show and I tell a funny joke, the whole crowd goes, that should be good. Bringing back COVID. Bringing back the vid.
Anyway, but yeah, I guess I could read stand-up comedy. Like, I could just watch. It's like funny. It's like sometimes I'll see a stand-up clip on Instagram and I won't even turn the sound on. I'll just read the captions. So I guess that's like kind of, you can still experience stand-up. But music, I would really, oh God. I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm deeply moved by music, as we figured out from the quiz.
Yeah, that's right. So sensitive.
So sensitive. But yeah, thank you for asking that. I thought it was a good question.
Very good question.
Yeah. Let's do some tour dates because our tours are about to start back up again. And so in September, I'm going to be in the Baltimore area. I'm going to be in Timonium, Maryland. And then I'm going to be in Fort Collins. In October, I'm going to be in Omaha and Phoenix. In November, I'm going to be in Providence and Dania Beach. And then in December, I'm in San Antonio and Austin. And you can get tickets at kelseycook.com.
Spokane, Washington.
Yes.
Tampa.
Yes.
Madison, Wisconsin. Columbus, Ohio. Denver, Colorado. San Francisco, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas. That's where I'm going to be this year. Now, I did just get an email from my agent that said, give me a wish list for 2025 for the first half. So I'm asking you, if you want to come see a show, and this is for both of us, maybe you could drop us a note that says, hey, I'm in this city, come here.
Yeah. That's
what I would like to do, because right now I'll be back to Boston. I'll be going to Cleveland. I asked for Chicago. There's a whole bunch of places. And I know if you didn't hear yours, it could be that I've been there more recently and that's why I couldn't go back. But I would love to hear some ideas.
Yeah, agreed. So please let us know. Also, this kind of goes back to this sight versus hearing thing. I really would like to get Lasic. I've heard a couple very positive stories about people getting it. If you are somebody who's had Lasic and had either a good or bad experience, can you write in pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com, because I'd like to do it, but one medical procedure at a time.
Yeah. If you've had a bad experience, can you just save it? Because she's going to read 100 positive reviews and one nightmare story, and she's going to wear glasses for the rest of her life. I don't care if you wear glasses. You know what I think our next middle segment should be? If you had a superpower, what could it be?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Let's think on that for next time.
Okay,
guys, so we're going to get into some listener questions. This one is titled Highly Sensitive Person Episode. I'm still laughing. They say, I'm so happy I found your podcast. Fans of you both. Self-Helpless and Dad Channels both got me through lockdown. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for the laughs and entertainment. You both complement each other beautifully. No question, but I had to send you this merch idea based on the hilarious HSP quiz. Still cracking up as I type this. The first thing that popped into my head, copulare diem, which is fuck the day. She says it's similar enough to Carpe Diem, right? That actually would be so funny.
I think that's fantastic.
And I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Copulare Diem.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Copulare.
Yeah.
Depending on. Maybe
Diem.
that's Italian. Maybe that's how they say it.
Yeah, Latin. But anyway, and then she says, also, Kelsey, I love your grabbing ankles for the day as well. Falling somewhere between you both and those answers just had me giggling with joy. Realizing how silly this is, just thank you both again. Your podcast is truly enjoyed. Speedy recovery, Kelsey. Oh, thank you so much. It's from nice. Jess in Florida. So thank you. We have such a long list of what I think are fantastic merch ideas. We just have to sit down and get it cranking because we've been really, I don't want to say like pleasantly surprised by the Patreon signups that have happened so far, because I think we both hoped it would be great, but it's so nice to make like a new community within our podcast community. Mm-hmm. So if you want to join our Patreon, it's patreon.com/pretendproblems, and there are bonus episodes there that we put out every month, multiple times a month. So anyway, we got that going, but we still have to do merch.
Yep, that's true.
So okay, the next one is titled, This One is Harry, ...
Oh, boy.
Dear Chad and Kelsey, love the podcast, watched Chad's special Empty Nester on day one, love y'all's comedy, blah, blah, blah. To be clear, they said that, I didn't. That'd be so cunty. You're a big fan, blah, blah, blah. I have a truly pretend problem. My youngest son's best friend is staying with us for 2 weeks while his parents are on a cruise. Last night, they asked me to come upstairs to my son's room to help them with a problem. When I got up there, I was stunned at what they had done. They had attempted to give each other haircuts. They both had kind of long hair, and they had tried to cut it into mullets. Not only are mullets a bad idea that should have been left in the 80s, they attempted to get the short sides, long top, and back using the clippers we bought to shave the dog. The results were predictably awful. I cannot look at them without laughing, and when my wife saw them, her eyes rolled hard enough to affect the rotation of the earth. In fact, she has washed her hands of the entire disaster and has left it up to me to deal with it. My son has attempted to appeal to my fatherly nature to get me to take them to our hairstylist to see if this can be salvaged. That's option 1. Option 2 is I let them live with the mess they've made for themselves until our regularly scheduled haircut's about 4 weeks away. Option 3 is they let me finish the job by shaving them to stubble. I am also open to any suggestions from the two of you. Further relevant information, school starts in 10 days. If I buzz their hair off, they have that much time to grow some stubble, or they have that much time for their current disaster to grow out before they get their student ID pictures. Also, these boys are 17 and going into their senior year. I know this isn't as...
I thought they were like 8.
I know, me too.
How the fuck do you not be able to cut a mullet when you're 17 years old?
Oh my God. I know this isn't as titillating as the guy whose girlfriend wants to tongue punch his fart box. But I'm really hoping you'll address this, and I can't wait to hear what you both have to say. Signed, Hair Daddy.
Tongue punches
fart box.
So first of all, this is why you don't send your kids to school early. Mm-hmm. Because this is the kind of stuff they do. A 17-year-old senior, of course you're going to have a fucked up mullet. It's ridiculous. I think that's
what it's
proper.
Supposed to be. Yeah,
that's proper.
Yeah.
Here is my advice. I think when they're 35 and they look back at their student ID, it's going to be the funniest thing in the world. It might not be great for them now, but I leave it. I leave it as is. I go, if you guys want to go to the garage after you clean up the fucking hair in your bedroom, mm-hmm. because that would be number one for me. It's like, what are you doing this inside for, you dipshits?
Yeah.
But I would give them the option to fix each other's hair. And if they mess it up even more, great. I would get them each a t-shirt that says, I got last place in my fantasy football league. So maybe people will think that's what the haircut is from. But otherwise, I leave it. I let them fix it, but I would not help. I would not send them to the barber early. I would, I do think it's going to be the funniest thing in the world when they're older.
Yeah.
They're going to meet they're going to meet somebody, whoever they're going to marry or whatever. And then they're going to be like, oh, look what I did right before senior year.
Yeah.
I think it will be everything is going to work out like it should.
Yeah. My instinct is to do the nice thing and take them to the salon. But I like where your head's at. As somebody who had a truly like not a good haircut for the very end of my senior year of high school and then leading into college. I mean, it's kind of a gift that's kept on giving. Like I just talked about it when I went on After Midnight recently. It's like a funny running joke to have headshots with a soccer mom haircut when I'm in my late teens. Like it's a wild move I did to think that that was like a very high fashion look at the time. Right. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be very funny for them and could be funny for later.
I think so too. I think that a lot of people, when you got your haircut, were like, little boy, did you lose your shadow?
That's always what I say, is that when I didn't have any styling product in it and no makeup on, I looked like Peter Pan. Like not saying that as like an exaggeration. I straight up looked like Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It was like a small French boy.
Yeah. Also, I would like to say one more thing about this. They're going into their senior year. After this, we don't know, military, college, job, whatever it is, you're not going to be their safety net anymore. So why not start on something small like this? Do not save the day, because they're going to have to figure out shit on their own very soon.
For real. Yeah. Oh, Mia, you are shifting the laptop. Okay. This is titled Dumb Stand-Up Comedy Question. They say, hi, Kelsey and Chad. You both are truly the funniest comedians ever. Oh, that's very nice. Your podcast has been such an incredible delight, and I look forward to listening every week. I think it's such a gift to have professional comedians be so honest and open about their process and willing to share their experiences. So I have a dumb stand-up comedy question. What's your step-by-step process like in trying to write your 1 hour special? I just saw Mike Birbiglia's documentary on Peacock about his writing process, and I was curious to know what you both do when it comes to writing your jokes. How do you organize your thoughts? How do you take your written jokes and organize them? Do you use note cards, notes app, a notebook? Do you end up writing everything down on a Word document? I'm such a type A person who is trying to get into stand-up, and I'm getting so hung up on organizing that I'm not writing any jokes. Thanks. Feeling stuck and restless and unproductive. Sarah. Sarah, thank you for writing in. That's a great email. And just so you know.
What a dumb fucking question. I mean, Sarah, please.
Why waste our time?
Unbelievable. Sarah backwards is harass. You can tell by this email. Unfucking believably stupid. Of course, it says dumb question twice, and it's not a dumb question at all.
So funny. You actually are making me feel seen with this question, because I feel this way all the time, where sometimes I get so overwhelmed with just trying to organize everything that I kind of stay stuck and like get more wrapped up in that process than just being messy and writing jokes. So yeah, what's your process?
Well, it's called show business, right? And if you get too much into the business side of it, which is the organization and everything, you're gonna lose the show. But this reminds me a lot of me. It's like I fucking think I know everything there is to know about exercise, because I've read, and I will spend more time figuring out how I'm going to exercise than actually exercising. When all you really need to do in exercise is you need to pick a process, and you have to stick with it. It's longevity that makes the difference. And I think that's the same here. Instead of figuring out a new thing, just pick one. Just whatever it is, put all these options on a piece of paper, put it in a hat, pull one out, and use that one. I use a notebook because I also use a physical daily planner because I forget shit when it's on my phone calendar. That's what I do. As far as like, I use my, when I'm driving, I use my voice memo app because then I can get the tone and inflection that I think the joke needs. So I'll just say it onto there, and then I'll listen to it later. And then once you do go on stage to tell these jokes, make sure you record your set, because you're going to be able to figure out exactly what line works where and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm similar to Chad, where I have lots of different methods that kind of all come together. Sometimes I'll be out and about and I will jot something down in the notes app on my phone. Sometimes I'm home and want to like actually sit down and try to flush a premise out. So I'm writing it all out in my notebook. And then I also in the past have used note cards, which if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, like, okay, I can't keep track of all of the jokes and how they go together. I think note cards are really helpful because you can lay them out physically in front of you and have, I think it's like a better way to grasp what you're working with. So yeah, that's my process.
Yeah. And you can journal, try to write funny stories and then put them away for a month and go back after you've forgotten about them and reread them. And maybe there'll be something funny in there too.
Totally. Okay, this next one is titled, okay, I know exactly how you two feel. And this is in regards to when we went to A Quiet Place.
When we had some
talkers.
louds.
Some louds, yeah.
Some louds in the Quiet Place.
Yeah. Okay, so, and they're saying we can kind of like condense this, but this person and their wife went to the new Planet of the Apes movie earlier this year. And then a gaggle of teenagers, 5 of them in all. I didn't see them, but I heard them. I don't know what they were saying, but I imagine it's exactly what a Midwestern murder of hormonal walnuts would normally say. Anywho, as we get closer to the start of the movie, I reach the conclusion that I'm going to have to say something to these Red Bull-fueled fiends before they ruin my showing. My wife knows I'm tweaking in my chair over this. And at the crux of our story, I have 2 options. Option 1, I'd like to call this the chat option, is turn around in the theater and say something to the smell of, I've been waiting for 7 years for this movie. I'd really like to watch the apes on the screen instead of listen to you imitate them back there. Funny, yes. Liable to get my car vandalized and my bald spot made fun of, also yes.
That's why I always pick the back row, dude. Always pick the back row. Upper hand.
Option 2, his wife's option, and I did that one. I walked outside the theater around to the other door of the room and walked in as if I was a new person coming to watch the movie. I walked up the stairs and behind the kids. They're still jabbering away, but starting to quiet down as I get closer. I grab a seat right behind them.
Smart.
As a side note, I'm just now realizing how frightening this was to the kids. I'm not a small guy by any means, have a big beard and a lot of tattoos over a lot of my arms. Movie starts. 13 minutes in, they start up again. Now, I've learned as a teacher to address problems succinctly and privately, so to avoid embarrassing the kids in front of their peers. So, I lean right between the loudest of the 2. My face is inches away from their ears. I whisper right into their ears, I'd like to watch this movie. Please change your volume so that can be achievable.
And I have to tell you something else. Using that kind of language is like, my mom just let me out of the basement for this one thing.
Yeah.
That's really psycho talk.
Yes. They both turned, saw the bead in my eyes, and promptly turned seedy white. A moral of the story, mom and dad staring at people might not always work, but instilling fear in children using nice words quietly is very effective. Cheers, Mr. Smith. Thank
bravo,
you.
Mr.
Oh
Smith.
my God, that's such a boss move to leave and enter through a different door as if you weren't in there already. God, yeah. I love it.
Pretty wild. I
could see you doing that for sure.
I don't know. I was just sitting there minding my own business. You were the one fighting the good fight in the Quiet Place. Yeah,
I'm starting to I think get a little less afraid of public confrontation, because when I had 2 of my best friends staying with me over the weekend, and I picked one of them up at the airport, and it was really congested. I was hoping I didn't have to loop again, but my other friend wasn't out yet. And so I had scooted up toward the front, and this guy, he honked at me, but I'm not sure why, because there was plenty of room to just go around me. Mm-hmm. So he honked at me, and then there's this old lady on the sidewalk in front of me that does this motion at me, and I just looked at her and was I threw it back at her a little bit.
That's awesome.
And I was like, hey, look at me. But I just was fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't sass me. I'm an adult. You're an adult. I'm an adult. you're going to be like that to me. I'll throw it back at you.
Maybe you need some positivity in your life because this attitude is crazy. Oh my God. What are you going to do? Slam pickleballs next? Ugh.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Yeah, no shit.
Anyway, it was kind of freeing.
Good for you. Yeah, no shit. It's freeing. That's what I'm telling you.
I know. It was small though, but I liked it. Okay. Say it.
No. It's interesting when you get a little taste of it.
Yeah.
Because then you go, oh yeah, I fucking get it now.
Daddy
But then somehow you still don't get it when I do it. You're still, because you go, well, you take it to this other level. It's like, yeah, I'm on that level. I've been doing this a lot longer. You're at a beginner. You get to mimic someone's look back at them. Mm-hmm. That's beginner level. I fucking beat the boss on the beginner level. Then I went to intermediate level, beat the boss. I am at the final stage of shit talking. And you can't be using that beginner shit way up on this level. Yeah. You get served, man.
But she was doing beginner shit to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a silent, like, what are you doing from outside the car? Deserves a little back.
On the drive here, I'll tell you what I did.
Oh, boy. No,
it's fine. There was a semi-truck driving 63 miles per hour. That's fine. I don't know what they're carrying.
Okay.
Take your time. That's a big fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
You and I talk about this all the time. I always am so impressed with truck drivers, semi-truck drivers, when they're in town, like backing the trailer up and taking a left turn and not completely destroying the traffic that's turning through them. So 63, and then a pickup truck from South Dakota driving also 63, right not behind them, but in the left lane with enough space, like you could move over.
Okay, yeah.
And I am never like one of these guys, like I never use go back to so-and-so racially, right? Like, go back to Mexico, you fucking whatever.
Right.
But I do yell, go back to your state. I go, you fucking get your ass back to South Dakota where this is fine.
Go visit Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But anyways, I drove up and it's two gals, maybe a daughter and a mom.
Okay.
And I look at them and I go, hi, can you go? I like point my fingers. I go, can you pass this truck?
Yeah.
And then they look at each other and they look at me and then she starts going faster. And then I pulled in behind them.
Yeah.
And then I could tell she still wasn't sure, you know, what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I think she was going to give me some attitude.
Yeah.
Because then she was like turned completely towards me and I just gave her the prayer hands and I was like, thank you. I have to go. Thank you. Yeah. And then I fucking sped off.
Whoa.
Felt great. Felt real great.
You're like trying to do sign language for like my girlfriend's stitches are out of her tongue and I'm trying to get home to her.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I didn't really want to try sign language because then she'd have been like, you want me to do what? Just because I was going slow does not mean I have to suck your dick, sir. Disgusting. I can't wait to get back to South Dakota. Great places and great faces indeed.
You want to go to the driving range?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. We're in a golf tournament tomorrow. We got to practice.
Yes, that's right. The Greg Coleman golf tournament for the YMCA of the North. Very excited about that. Yeah. Fundraiser.
Yeah. So we'll let you guys know how that goes next week.
That's right.
Okay. Bye, guys.